and Forth and Trollers. Well, I don't know. All right. Well, I guess we'll roll with that. Welcome back to Fourth and Troll Fantasy, the most entertaining fantasy football podcast on the planet. My name is Noah Selby.
And I'm Wes Selby.
And we are back with you for another Friday episode. Listen, we got some stuff going on, all right? There's I live in Florida. There's a hurricane in the area. So we want to get you this usually as scheduled content out, but it's going to be a little bit of a different episode today. No Thursday Night Football recap. We're going to just cover everything on Tuesday with you guys. And we're going to record. We're going to get you our studs and duds, get you some big injury news. You want to hear that as well. A lot of people you got to monitor going into week 4. And then we're going to get out of here. And you can watch and have a good time and rewatch and subscribe and donate to our Patreon and sponsor us and produce our show and buy us an office.
Get a James Cook jersey.
Honestly, it's going to be the best show ever. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
How fun
That's
is that?
Exactly how this is going to go. You guys know the drill.
Episode.
All right, follow us on our socials. Do all that stuff. If you want to win that James Cook jersey, just subscribe to any tier of our Patreon. We're giving that away to a random patron this season, after this season is up. So it's going to be a good time. Make sure you're there. And that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, ring that friggin' bell. And Wes,
Good. Yes.
News.
Oh, so many news. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's dying. And there's a hurricane on its way. So we can do this fast. Okay, so as you know, Thursday night, Malik Neighbors suffered a concussion at the end of the game. He obviously has more than a week to recover, so he should be okay. But obviously we'll monitor that as the best wide receiver in fantasy football. So definitely important to keep track of how he's doing. Okay, here's how the Texans are doing. Tank Dell, bruised ribs, doubtful. Nico Collins, hamstring injury, questionable. Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce, did not practice, not going to play. So, Stephon Diggs, Cam Akers, to the moon. That's pretty much all they have on offense right now. And, of course, Dalton Schultz. Okay, Carolina Panthers. Adam Thielen placed an IR from that hamstring touchdown catch he had. But Jonathan Brooks, the rookie they drafted, their running back, he's on pace to return when he's eligible after their fifth game, something like that. So he's on pace. So sorry, Chuba Hubbard owners, keep track of that. Evan Ingram's status of the hamstring injury, it's still up in the air. He's still questionable. He's making progress. We still don't know if it's going to be him or Brenton Strange. Jalen Warren, he's considered week to week with a knee injury, which means he's very likely going to miss this upcoming game. But Najee Harris seems to be all right. Alvin Kamara, he's got a rib injury and a hip injury. He's questionable. Austin Eckler was ruled out already with a concussion from the Monday night game against the Bengals. And Jordan Love is a game-time decision after going through some limited practices this week. Deontay Johnson, forgot to mention that. I think it's a hamstring injury with the Panthers. Should be okay, but they're being very, very cautious, what they said. Very cautious because he's going to have 45 points, no doubt about that. Why not? Sure. Bijan, join the injury report. Dealing with his shoulder injury. Sure. Get in here. Hey, speaking of great running backs in the first round, CMC visited some doctors. I believe in Germany. He is going to be out for possibly months, plural, months. So congratulations, Jordan Mason owners. You got the 101 accidentally. Okay, Deebo Samuel, full pads, practicing, closer to making a return. Maybe. We're not sure, but he's progressing. Okay, Eagles, neither A.J. Brown nor Devonta Smith practiced this week. They're both questionable. I would even say doubtful for this week. And last but not least, Devontae Adams. Why not? Get over here. Hamstring injury. You're questionable for week 4. That's it. That's it for the news. Now, no Thursday night. Hurricane episode. Going into studs and duds.
Why do we play fantasy football?
Because we're masochists. We're masochists who want to make money and try to teach people about how to do this. It's awful.
Absolutely. There you go. All right, listen, studs and duds. You guys know the drill. If you don't know the drill, studs, guys that are going to outperform that projection. They need to be in that lineup. We have that feeling, that belief that these guys are going to pop off, do well for you. Go ahead and get them in that lineup. Those are your studs. Your duds, start them and close your eyes and pray. I don't know how to feel, but you need to be prepared for a poor performance. Those are your duds. Wes has quarterbacks and wide receivers. I've got running backs and tight ends. Wes?
Yes.
Take it away.
I'm rocking the red rifle for my stud for quarterbacks. Andy Dalton is no joke. And sometimes it just clicks and it's a magical season. It may just be the way for the Panthers with Andy Dalton. And who doesn't love a revenge game? All right. What happened against the Raiders was no fluke. He is obviously a talented, experienced veteran quarterback. I was thinking earlier this morning about the days of him and AJ Green and how incredible that was, and just kind of reminiscing about those days. Well, maybe a little bit something like that with Deontay Johnson. If he's healthy, he should be healthy. He'll be just fine. But that being said, everyone loves watching revenge games. Everyone wants the quarterback that's on a different team to come back and just smash mouth their old team. And why wouldn't he against the winless Cincinnati Bengals? I'm expecting good things. If you're streaming quarterbacks or whatever it is, go for it. Andy Dalton is my guy. I'm starting him in a few leagues because I'm still not sure if Jordan Love is going to start. And he was the one quarterback I drafted. And Tua. I drafted Tua and Jordan Love in a couple leagues. So I'm going with Andy Dalton, but I really am because I believe it. Now, my dud. Someone that I'm not entirely confident in. I'm not gonna lie. I've been panicking and trying to get set up here. I have to remind myself who my dud is. I'm not even kidding right now. Oh, I got my dud. I got my dud.
Go for it.
I got my dud. It's Baker Mayfield. Baker's been fine. Baker's been good. He had a really nice week 1, and there were some questions as to whether or not he was going to be tremendous, if he was going to be someone that we could actually kind of roll into our lineups. But the truth is, when you go against the Philadelphia Eagles, it doesn't always work out. And we saw the magic end with Derek Carr. And I think that's going to continue to happen with Baker Mayfield. They got one nice revenge game against the Detroit Lions from last year's playoffs. I think the Eagles are going to be in the same position, and they're going to want revenge against the Buccaneers. There's my dud, Baker Mayfield. And if you have Baker Mayfield, roll out Andy Dalton.
Beautiful. Let's jump into running backs here. My running back stud, Aaron Jones, up against the Green Bay Packers. Speaking of revenge games, Wes, this is a revenge game if we've ever seen it. If you haven't read it, go check out the article that Aaron Jones wrote and did with the Players Tribune. Wrote a really, really nice article and letter over to Green Bay before his revenge game. But listen, it's a revenge game if I've ever seen it. Green Bay is allowing over 15.5 fantasy points to 2 of the 3 running backs they faced so far this season. Aaron Jones is averaging nearly 20 opportunities a game. The Packers are allowing over 5 yards per carry to running backs. I got him as a top 12 running back this week in a revenge game that's going to be sweet. It's going to be nice to watch. And if there's not a team that you don't like rooting for more than the Minnesota Vikings outside of your own team, what are you doing? Come on, this team is you gotta love rooting for the Vikings and Sammy D. So there you go. Aaron Jones is my running back stud. Flip side of that, my running back dud, J.K. Dobbins. Now I know what you might be thinking. What do you mean, Noah? He just out carried Gus Edwards 15-3, and you're right. You're absolutely right. This is his backfield now. I do believe he has taken over. I believe the snap share is going to continue to move this way, and he will continue getting the primary snaps. However, this is not going to be a game where the Los Angeles Chargers are able to go in and run the football 35 times. They are playing the Kansas City Chiefs. They may not have Justin Herbert on their offense to be able to be their quarterback, so we got to keep an eye on that. And the Chiefs held Derrick Henry and Bijan Robinson both to under 50 yards rushing. I don't think it's a bounce-back game in store. I think J.K. Dobbins has 2 tough games in a row here. Pittsburgh last week, Chiefs this week. So J.K. Dobbins, a little bit of hesitation there. You're hoping he can find the end zone. But Aaron Jones in that revenge game, roll him out, baby. It's going to be a fun time.
You said top 12. I think he's like top 5 in the week. He's going to.
I was being more conservative, to be honest. I just want to make sure people knows in a 12-man league, he's an RB1 this week. There you go.
I love it. I love it. 2 revenge games for the studs. Here are the studs and nuts or wide receivers, teammate of the quarterback of my stud. I'm believing in the Carolina Panthers with Andy Dalton's offense. And as you know, I've been a believer in this wide receiver since the offseason, put him in my top 10. It's Deontay Johnson's season, folks. I mean, the target shares were already possible with Bryce Young, but now he's a quarterback who is a quarterback, so that's good news. Deontay Johnson, especially with Adam Thielen out for several weeks, Johnson is going to be the number one guy. And in a PPR world, he's going to be fantastic. He may or may not get in the end zone, and he's still going to get close to 15 points, especially in PPR, because of what he can do for this team and the volume that he has. We actually saw Xavier Legette start to blossom a little bit as well. So there's more pieces happening. Legette actually had a touchdown, ruled out of bounds. Not as close as the Isaiah Likely week 1 touchdown, but it was still things happening. The offense feels alive. They're revitalized with Andy Dalton. And so for those that had Deontay Johnson on their bench and you want to know, can I roll him out this week, especially with all these wide receivers that are injured? Absolutely. He is a stud for week 4. And my dud, it's time to talk about one of the first defenses / defenders that is actually a problem in fantasy football. And that is Patrick Surtain of the Denver Broncos. Got paid big money to play like a top cornerback. And so far, he's not just playing as a top cornerback. Nobody's doing anything on him. These are like 5 points or less against Patrick Surtain. So who is it going against him this week? It's Garrett Wilson, my dud for week 4. And I'm not kidding. I've benched him. And it sounds strange when I'm going to bench him and put in Jackson Smith and Jigba going against the Lions. There's an opportunity for some positive points there, but you get the idea. We have to start talking about Patrick Surtain as a real shutdown cornerback in this 2024 season. That's Garrett Wilson this week. That's my dud for this week. And if you're the guy that has Deontay Johnson and Garrett Wilson, there's your choice made for you. So they're my studs and duds for wide receivers.
There you go. PS2 is an animal. I mean, I don't know what we got to do to get him on. You got to give him a nickname like Revis Island. I don't know how we get there, but
dude, PS2 is sweet. Let's just do that, man. That's so cool.
That's pretty dope. On the tight ends here, tight end stud for week 4. It's Dallas Goedert. All right. No AJ Brown, no Devontae Smith. He's going to be the top target in this offense, and that's literally all I have to say to you about Dallas Goedert. That's literally it. If you have him, roll him out. What else are you? Who are you going to start? Who else are you going to start? Hunter Henry, Tyler Conklin? No, you're going to start the guy who's probably going to see double-digit targets in this game. It's not going to be a game where they can just let Saquon just run the ball the whole time. Saquon is going to eat. Dallas Goedert's going to eat. It's going to be a good time. Jahan Dotson. Oh no. Whatever. Anyway, not to send a little stray over to Jahan Dotson there, but Dallas Goedert's that dude, and he's a stud this week for sure. If you've got him, roll him out. My dud, Mike Gesicki against the Carolina Panthers. He's yet to play more than 50% of the snaps, and I had to take a look at it because I went, why? Isn't he the guy? He's been the guy we're talking about. He's in like a tight end timeshare, and it feels kind of weird. There's rookie Eric All, there's Drew Sample, and they're all rotating in and getting between like 30 to 50% of the snaps. And I just don't necessarily trust it when we're another week into T. Higgins returning in an expanded role. And on top of that, the Panthers are averaging just 7.8 points to tight ends. Now, in this season, in this economy, I'd take 7.8 points from a tight end for what it's worth.
Yes.
But for all those other reasons before, I'm not necessarily trusting Mike Gesicki here. I got him as my dud. And the tight end spot for week 4, dude, we just speed ran that thing.
Dude, Wi-Fi's
the
okay.
Quickest episode I've ever had. Wi-Fi's
Things
okay.
Are good. We got to upload this in a moment.
I mean, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, dude. Wow, we nailed it.
High five.
Listen, and we'll fix it in post. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're going to bench Garrett Wilson this week. I would if I had him. I do not have him anywhere, but I definitely would. Patrick Surtain II is that kind of dude. And let us know if you're just chucking it up with Dallas Goedert at tight end there, if you're rolling with the red rifle. It's going to be a good time. Catch us on Tuesday. We're going to recap everything from week 4. Thank you for hanging out with us on this shorter episode of 4th and Troll Fantasy, and we will catch you next time. My name is Noah Selby.
I'm Wes Selby.
And this has been 4th and Troll Fantasy.
4th and Troll Fantasy is a production of FQ Media and Selby Artistic Workshop.